Hello, hello. Here is Santi Rock on Radio Alhara. Today we have two very special guests. We are here with Mateo Walsburger, and Carlos Rizzi, both founders of the Bogota-based label Sabana Records.
We first met about, I think, 2.5 to 3 years ago, and both me and Carlos shared the same concerns that there was not a space or not really a platform upon which people could connect and could develop further their projects, record them, share them in every sense of the word.
We started this label with the idea of creating this space for left field electronic artists here in Colombia. What we wanted was to kind of like create this community of artists that are doing something quite different from what is usually being heard in the mainstream electronic music scene.
So Sabana Records was kind of developed as a platform to help those people that lie around.
I don't think the label has like a certain specific sound, so it can be from ambient to breakbeats, IDM. We're trying to at least push a little bit the envelope in terms of sound design. We really value curiosity from the artists to do something that we couldn't just come up ourselves, even like trying to get this from other artists.
We just need to feel like there's this sense of exploration. That's why it's not related to any specific genre. It's not only ambient or only IDM or only techno or folk or whatever. It's trying to explore a little bit within these boundaries, and exploration not only in the sense of a musical sense that the person is willing to explore with their music, but also willing to explore with the way on how they release music. We always tend to structure every release around the collaboration of a music artist and also visual artists, or I don't know, poets or writers, and we try to make an emphasis on these interdisciplinary collaborations. We're really looking for people that want to explore, that want to think about new ideas and how they can make other things, and how they can make their music releases different in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also a thing that we try to curate on the label, is that we really appreciate live sets or live performances. We really like when other artists tend to have another way of showcasing their music.
Yeah, and I think it also adds up a little bit to that idea of wanting to create a platform for other sorts of expressions. So we also try to make an emphasis and a platform for people to develop their live sets and to actually create a space where people can play their live sets. I think it's to support everyone that is making a live set and that is attempting to perform live is also one of our goals.
In terms of the reception, it has been quite nice, because we actually found a lot of artists that are interested in the label, and especially because we really focus on curation part of it, but also the whole visual aesthetic that we plan with every single release.
The audiovisual proposal, how the music is distributed. We think that the way we make a connection with music nowadays is intersected by a lot of different mediums. So the idea, and for every release we make also a huge effort on the physical, because I think that's really important to have like sort of an object that comes with the music and that makes this experience a little bit more special when it comes to finding an artist. It's also super nice when you buy music and you actually get an object that you can interact with and actually make more of a material connection with. It's important, I think, to clarify that we work in a really small scale. We never do like super big projects or like big streaming artists or anything like that. We tend to focus more on a local scale.
We also really encourage people to send us demos and stuff, like even if it's not from Colombia or anywhere, like we're really willing to hear like new music and new proposals from around the world.
We don't have that much social media. I think we're only present in Instagram, YouTube, and Bandcamp. If you want to follow us, we're the same in all of them. That is Sabana Records. And,
exactly.
And you can find us. If anything of what we've just said in the past minutes resonated with you in any way, just like please drop us a message, share our music, and we really are looking forward to hearing what people are doing. And because as we've worked with this label, we've really found that there's a lot of amazing music and a lot of amazing musicians working secretly, being in their bedrooms and just not sharing their music. And there's some truly incredible gems out there. When I ended school, like high school, I started shifting my music. I started shifting and I met some people who were into electronic music and they started like showcasing me around like the whole world, how it was. I really enjoyed partying and the club scene in general. That was like my first entrance into the electronic music world, that I think is like for most of the people is the same. That I guess like electronic parties and like experiencing this new way of partying and everything that it came with it. Afterwards, I started to dig it more into music production and synthesizers and machines of this sort. And that's when it really started like to hit for me. That when I started to produce music and make music, that's when I knew that that's what I wanted to do with electronic music.
Yeah, it's funny because I think, like what you were talking about, Mateo, is that you started DJing and then you shifted to like live setting and productions and stuff. I think for me it was the opposite. Like I started like on the production side. Now I'm actually DJing a bit more, and I quite enjoy it. Okay, so it's always funny to talk about the process. At this point, I think I'm trying to find another type of sonorities or sounds. The set, it's a little bit of a collage of new tracks that I've been working on. So it's a little bit raw, I think, but it's more of an exploration that has been going on since I released my latest EP, which was at the end of 2020. I think it was November 2020. It's kind of like getting these bunch of ideas that I had from that point on until today. I usually work with Ableton Live, and I use some samplers and synths and effects processors from here. Mostly I work on Ableton right now. I'm planning on shifting from that soon. The set that I'm building, it's quite like this collage of new tracks that are probably gonna come out sometime soon or not. I'm not quite sure though.
So in my case, the creative process is kind of chaotic. I think I'm a really chaotic person in that way, that I never make music with kind of an idea in mind. I never think like, oh, I want to make this sort of track or this type of music and start making it. It always comes from random things. It can be either I find a nice sample on YouTube or in a vinyl, or I see a book that inspires me and gives me an idea, or sometimes I just start playing with synthesizers, samplers, and other machines. Most of my music making process always starts and is about 80% of the time with machines. I really like objects, and I really like making music with different types of music making machines, synths, samplers, pedals, effects. So for me, it's always kind of playing a little bit with an initial idea that I can get from anywhere, and then when I start manipulating and chopping it and just rearranging it within synthesizers, samplers, and other machines. And afterwards, when I have more of a basis, I move to Ableton to finish like the whole arrangement. The set that you're going to hear is new ways of experimenting with the music I already made by the process describing, and just playing with synthesizers and stuff like that. Like most of my set is just centered around that workflow.